Hello witches, it's Stregabella. I'm making this video to put on the collaborative channel for my witchy side. I have not been making videos for quite a few months, um, and I was trying to think of a good topic to talk about now that it's fall season and everybody's in the mood for pumpkins and apples and hay rides and all of that. So I thought I would have that as my theme for a topic. So I am going to tell you some really simple ways to incorporate a probiotic into your household routine if you choose to do this. That it has great benefits for people health-wise. I know it has helped me tremendously with issues with digestion and energy and stuff like that. The fact that we get most of our food ready-made from a grocery store, and most of it has chemicals to prevent all kinds of different things. And plus taking antibiotics for most of us. We have now become susceptible to a lot of bacteria and viruses and things like that that we wouldn't have been otherwise. We've basically killed all the healthy bacteria and the healthy things that in the days before grocery stores had everything in them like they do now. When people got fresh eggs and fresh milk right from their cows, they were regularly getting healthy probiotics. So some people who are into the health food type of lifestyle, you may have heard of kombucha. Kombucha is a fermented beverage that has a lot of wonderful health benefits, but I know that a lot of people are afraid of the concept of making it at home, having to feed a SCOBY in your kitchen. I kind of was intimidated at first when I first started learning about it and hearing about it, but I did incorporate it into my diet. But it's really expensive. It's like $3 a bottle at the grocery store. And so I have been in my practice slowly and steadily been doing more things the old-fashioned way. And one of the things I really have wanted to learn to do was to preserve foods, because I grow a lot and sometimes I grow too many tomatoes or whatever, and I hate throwing stuff away, especially my dad has been getting stuff from a farm, and it's like it goes bad so quickly, and I want to be able to use it and save it and use it throughout the winter when we can't go to a farm and pick stuff. And so in the process of learning how to make pickles and preserve stuff, I came across an old-fashioned doing things around the house book that has really simple, easy instructions that you don't have to go online and have a $30 mother sent to you from somewhere where you don't know if you're going to really get a good one or not. You end up spending all the money and often still don't get the instructions on really how to do it right. But this book had the most simple instructions, so I have actually started making, I'm not to the process where I can actually make a drinkable batch yet, but I've started. So I will let you guys know how the process goes. But I wanted to share some of this simple stuff that I'm going to be doing on a regular basis, hopefully from now on. So the instructions for the kombucha, if you don't want to go through the bother of having to buy a mother to make the product, you can actually buy one bottle at the grocery store, which is about $3, at least around here. You have to make sure it's raw, and the ones with ginger are usually apparently the best for the getting a really good mother going. So you can even drink most of the bottle and leave like about half of a cup at the bottom. And you might notice if you drink it that there's some sediment on the bottom. That's actually good. That's a sign that it's a healthy, productive, that the bacteria are all still active in it. So you save that stuff at the bottom to use after the next step. So you're going to boil 1 cup of water and 2 tablespoons of sugar in a little saucepan. Add a tea bag. Let it steep for a while. Once it's done, let it cool down completely. This is imperative. This is like a really important thing throughout fermenting, is that the heat is going to kill the bacteria. So you don't want that to happen or it won't work. So once it's room temperature with no more warmness at all, you're going to add that little raw kombucha that you have left to it. So after you do that, you're going to just put it in a jar and store it in a dark place. You want to cover it with either cheesecloth or a thin, a dish towel or a cloth, and put an elastic band tightly around it. Put it in your cabinet, and you basically just leave it there for, I think, about a week. Yeah, about a week. There'll be like a thin mother starting to form across the top. And when it's about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch, you're going to need to feed it. So then this time you're going to use 4 cups of water and 1/3 of a cup of sugar and 2 tea bags. You do the same thing you did with the first part. Cool it down after you've let it steep. Cool it completely. And then you can obviously remove the tea bags and add it to the mixture. So in about 2 weeks, depending on the conditions in your house, how warm and everything, the mother should end up being about 1/2 an inch thick. At that point, you can finally start making your batch of kombucha. So, but an important thing is that if any mold forms during the process, you have to throw it away and start all over again. So now that your mother is going to be ready for brewing drinkable kombucha batches, you're going to this time boil 3 quarts of water, 12 cups. You're going to use a cup of sugar this time and 4 tea bags. And with the tea, make sure that it's black organic. Black organic tea apparently is the best to use. You can also use loose tea though, and then you just adjust it so it's about what would be in a 1 bag of tea. You're gonna pour the oh, and the other thing is, do not use water that has chlorine in it. It has to be filtered water, unchlorinated. And it did say that if you somehow have to use the chlorinated water, you can leave it out or on the countertop for like 24 hours, and I guess the chlorine will evaporate away. So you have 3 quarts of water and a cup of sugar, the 4 tea bags. You boil it, take out the tea bags, let it cool, and at this point you put it into the gallon jars that you're going to be using to make your batch. And then you're going to add 1 to 2 cups of that liquid, the liquid in the healthy mom that you're going to be using. You take the liquid out. And then you place the mother over the top, and it's okay if it sinks. Apparently that's okay. It'll still do what it's supposed to do. You cover it again with the cloth and the rubber band. Only now it's in the gallon jugs. And keep it again in a dark place. This time it's going to take about 7 to 10 days. And during that process, you're going to have the original mother, and now a new baby is going to form over the top, just like it did the first time. So once the baby is 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch thick, you can start to taste the liquid to see if it has a lot of that sweetness still or not. The sugar is supposed to, that's what's feeding your SCOBY. So the sugar is not there anymore once you have the right taste for the kombucha, so it won't taste sweet. And if it's too sweet, you can let it ferment longer. If it's right, then you have your first batch of kombucha. And so now that you have the mother and the baby, you can give the baby away to somebody else who also wants to get involved in the process of making their own, or you can keep the two together. It's your choice. And and then you can just keep the process going if you choose to. So now that you have the harvested kombucha liquid and it's to your taste, it doesn't have the bubbles yet. So part 2 of the process is that you're going to add the liquid, which is now flat, into the drinking jars. You can get them at various places. I think they have them at like the Dollar Tree and AC Moore and stuff like that, but those are more kind of decorative ones. Depending how much you're going to make, you might want to like stock up. So to each of the bottles, you're gonna get use a funnel and put a teaspoon of sugar into each bottle. The bottles for 1 teaspoon, I'm assuming that your bottle should be 16 ounces. You can adjust it according to those measurements if your bottles are a different size. And make sure that after you add your flat liquid, you have to leave about a half an inch at the top because you're gonna have to keep opening it to let out the air. So you put your liquid and that little bit of sugar, cap on really tight, and in about a week you should be able to check it and see how it's doing. And you have to keep checking it and releasing air as necessary. I've heard different things. The book that I was reading said a week, but I don't know. That sounds like a long time to not let any air out, so I'll leave that to your discretion. So that is pretty much it. And it can stay unrefrigerated once you have your final product for months, once you have, the final outcome with the bubbles. Okay, and the coolest part about this is that you can add all kinds of things. Once you know how to do this, the basic process of the whole thing, you can add all kinds of flavors. Ginger, you can add a few tablespoons of fruit juices. You can add any kinds of herbs, spices, anything you want to make whatever flavors. And a lot of us in the witchy community, we make herbal teas. We make medicinal concoctions and that kind of thing. But you can actually get great medicinal properties. So instead of drinking it in a tea or something, you add whatever the herb is. For example, dandelion root is like amazing. And I just read something that dandelion root, this guy drank it in tea. He had terminal cancer and 6 weeks to live, and it cured him completely. And so scientists were amazed, doctors were amazed, and they started to see if it worked on other types of cancer. And apparently it's like amazing. It's just like cancer treatment and like 100% effective, and it works really fast without radiation or anything harmful. So, yeah. So anything that you would use to make a concoction or a tea, you can use it. And it actually will draw out, apparently, the fermentation process and the bacteria draws out the properties that you're really going to want medicinally, and it does it like way better than most of the other ways that you would try to get it. Let's see, and don't let your kombucha go on fermenting for too long, because once you bottle it still ferments, just not very as fast. Because if you let it go like several weeks, it's going to be way too acidic to drink to really taste good. However, if you do make this mistake and you have really super too acidic kombucha, it can be used the same way that vinegar is used. You can use it for. Oh, I think I even wrote this down. Let me see. I think I wrote the things that you can use it for. Yeah, you can use it as a kitchen and a bathroom cleaner. It kills mold and mildew. And you can use it with newspaper. You put some of it on the newspaper and it cleans the glass perfectly. So, great tips, great health food, great way to add, probiotics into your diet. And I will make another video soon showing you how to make some other really simple, really amazing things to incorporate not only into your diet, but one of them is for your spiritual practice that you'll like. Okay, guys, blessed be, and I hope you liked this video. Bye.